MA name is Amanda. I'm 31 and for the last 5 years I've worked 64 eggs as a physical therapist, to finally afford my own apartment in Boston. I had just saved enough for a torek vacation to Hawaii, my first real break in forever. When I returned, my apartment had been completely renovated, and my sister Tara was moving in with her boyfriend. My family thought they were helping her. No, they learning had property las really mean and that some boundaries sold never be crossed without permission. Before I dive into this crazy story, let me know here your reaction from in the comments. And if you've ever had family overstep their boundaries, hit that like button and subscribe to hear how I stood up for myself when everyone expected me to just roll over. I grew up with immigrant parents who taught me to America with nothing but determination and a belief that hard work would lead to success. They instilled in me the value of independence from an early age. Never depend on anyone else for your happiness or security, my father would say. I took those words to heart, perhaps more literally than he ever intended. After graduating with MA degree in physical therapy, I immediately started working at a rehabilitation center in downtown Boston. The work is demanding but incredibly rewarding. MA days are spent helping people recover from injuries, surgeries, and strokes. MA patients inspire me daily with their resilience and determination. There is nothing quite like the feeling of helping someone take their first steps after an accident or seeing the joy on their face when they regain movement they thought as lost forever. While MA career as taking off, MA personal life remained simple. For 6 years, I lived in a tiny studio apartment, barely 500 square feet, with a kitchenette that could barely fit a microwave and a mini fridge. The bathroom was so small I could touch all 4 walls without moving. But it was cheap, allowing me to put a significant portion of each paycheck toward my dream, owning my own place. I lived frugally. No expensive coffee shops, no shopping sprees, no fancy restaurants. I packed lunches, shopped sales, and picked up extra weekend shifts. My friends would tease me about being a workaholic, but I had a goal. After years of saving, clipping coupons, and declining invitations to costly outings, I finally had enough for a down payment. 3 years ago, I purchased my apartment. It's not huge, only bedroom on the 4th floor of a converted house in a developing neighborhood, but it's mini. The day I signed those papers as perhaps the proudest moment of my life. I remember telling my parents, expecting enthusiasm, only to hear my father say, "That's nice, but Tara just got promoted at her job." Every taking her out to celebrate. You should come if you're not too busy. That's my family in a nutshell. My sister Tara, 4 years younger than me, has always been the golden child. He was the responsible, reliable doctor who rarely demanded attention. Tara was dramatic, charming, and somehow always the center of our family universe. Her achievements are celebrated lavishly. Many are acknowledged it and not and quickly overshadowed. Don't get me wrong, I love my sister, but Tara has a history of entitlement and irresponsibility that my parents have enabled her entire life. She's bounced between jobs, apartments, and relationships, always landing softly because our parents are there to catch her. Hence she totaled her car, they booked her a nevone. Hence she couldn't make rent, they covered it, hence she dropped out of college, they paid for her to find herself in Europe for 6 months. Meanwhile, worked through college, paid off my student loans early, and built my life brick by brick. I don't resent my sister, but those my parents recognized that their constant restraint wasn't helping her grow up. My apartment became my sanctuary. I spent weekends painting the walls, scouring thrift stores for unique furniture pieces, and slowly transforming it into a space that reflected my personality. I painted the living room a arm terracotta that glowed like amber in the evening light. MA bedroom as a calming sage green it heat trim. O installed floating service for MA box and plants. Te kitchen asnt large but o added a butcher block island tad doblet as MA dining table. MA most prized possession as an antiquating desk that had belonged to MA grandmother. Made of solid oak it intricate carvings and tiny dryers, it isn't particularly valuable in monetary terms but it is irreplaceable to me. Grandma Rose had been the only person in MA family who seemed to truly see me. She left me the desk hence passed I, along it a letter telling me how proud she is of MA independence and determination. After 3 years, MA apartment truly felt like a home. Every corner had intention, every decoration a story. It isn't fancy or perfect, but it is mine, paid for it MA said and sacrifice. When finally decided to take a vacation, it felt like a huge indulgence. 2 full eggs in Hawaii, completely disconnected from work and responsibility. It never taken more than a long weekend off since starting MA career. MA boss prestigiously pushed me out the door, insisting I needed the break before I burned out. I spent months planning the trip, researching the best beaches, hikes, and local restaurants. I booked a modest but clean hotel room a few blocks from the beach. I even splurged on scuba diving lessons and a helicopter tour of the islands. The anticipation kept me going through long shifts and difficult patience. The week before leaving, I deep-cleaned MA apartment, emptied the refrigerator, and asked MA neighbor, Emrys Fletcher, to water MA plants. I double checked all the windows and door locks. I even left a detailed note for myself about how I'd left everything, knowing how disoriented some must feel after traveling. I was nervous about leaving MA space for so long, but also thrilled at the adventure ahead. Little did I know that MA carefully curated sanctuary wouldn't be waiting for me when I returned. Hawaii as everything I dreamed of and more. The moment I stepped off the plane, the warm, fragrant air wrapped around me like a gentle hug. MA's shoulders, perpetually tense from bending over patients, immediately began to relax. For the first time in years, I didn't have any hair to be or anyone depending on me. I spent MA first day just walking along Aikiki Beach, watching surfers catch a vessel the sun glinted off the turquoise water. I took MA toes into the warm sand and felt the tension of the past 5 years begin to melt away. That night, I sat on MA hotel balcony listening to the distant ukulele music from a beachfront restaurant and thought, this is what living feels like. Each day brought new adventures. I hiked through loose rainforests to hidden waterfalls here some impulse so clear I could see tiny fish darting around MA lakes. I learned to snorkel and spent hours floating above coral reefs, mesmerized by the rainbow of fish and undulating sea creatures. I tried traditional Hawaiian foods at local spots from the tourist traps, pokeballs, lomi salmon, and haupia peat had melted in MA mode. The scuba diving lessons were challenging but exhilarating. MA first time descending beneath the waves, watching bubbles rise from MA regulator hill tropical fish circled around me felt like entering another world. The helicopter tour showed me the dramatic coastliness and volcanic landscapes from above, the kind of views I'd only seen in nature documentaries. But the best part was disconnecting. Before leaving, I'd made a promise to myself to limit phone use and stay off social media. I wanted to be present to experience Hawaii it all MA senses rather than through a camera lens. I kept MA phone on airplane mode most of the time, only checking messages every few days. On the rare occasions I did check, I noticed some strange texts from MA family. MA mother sent several messages asking for pictures of MA apartment layout and measurements of the living room and bedroom. I assumed she was thinking about redecorating her own space and using mine as inspiration, so I just sent quick responses it the information she wanted. I was too busy enjoying paradise to think much about it. Midnight rogue MA second egg, a received a triptis message from MA mother. You will be so surprised when you get back. Can't I to see your face? O assumed te planning a elzome home dinner or maybe had picked up some high-end themed decorations for MA apartment as a said gesture. O replied it, a quick looking forward to it. And went back to MA beachfront meditation session. The vacation passed too quickly, as all good things done MA last evening, sat on the beach watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange, pink and purple. I felt renewed at peace and ready to return to MA live it fresh energy. I promised myself I wouldn't wait another 5 years to take a real vacation. The flight home as long and cramped, a harsh reentry to reality after 2 weeks of spacious beaches and open skies. By 8 I landed in Boston as exhausted, dehydrated, and just wanted to get home to MA on bed. I collected MA luggage, rumpled clothes and sand-sprinkled souvenirs stuffed inside, and ordered an Uber. MA driver was chatty, asking about MA trip and offering recommendations for his favorite high-end restaurants in Boston. Under normal circumstances, I might have enjoyed the conversation, but after 8 hours in a middle seat it a drink baby toros behind me, all wanted as silence. As I approached MA neighborhood, I noticed more moving trucks than usual on the streets. It was the first of the month, typical moving time in a city full of apartments it monthly leases. MA driver commented on it as I turned onto MA Street. Looks like everyone is moving today, he said, navigating around a double parked U-Haul. Then, as I pulled up to MA building, he nodded toward another moving truck outside. Moving Someone in. I glanced at the truck, noting the logo of a local moving company, but didn't think much of it. Probably only of the units on the second floor, I replied, remembering that the young couple there had mentioned they might be leaving soon. I tipped the driver, heaved MA switches out of the trunk, and hailed it toward MA building, excited to be home despite MA exhaustion. The familiar lobby it's slightly peeling wallpaper and eternally auto for their vending machine as a elzome sicht. I pressed the elevator button, already mentally mapping out MA evening, long shower, ordering takeout, unpacking just the essentials, and falling into MA on bed. As the elevator climbed to the 4th floor, a strange uneasiness settled over me. Something about MA motor's texts and that moving truck outside nagged at the back of MA mind. But I dismissed it as travel fatigue and post-vacation blues. After all, had could possibly be wrong? I was coming home to MA safe, comfortable space that as exactly as it left it. Or so I thought. The elevator doors opened to the 4th floor hallway, and immediately I noticed something odd. The corridor as cluttered it boxes and bubble wrap. As I hailed MA switches toward MA apartment number 312, I had to navigate around had looked like dismantled furniture parts and packing materials. Someone is really making a mess, I muttered to myself, annoyed that the building manager isn't enforcing the rules about keeping common areas clear. Then I realized it growing horror that the trail of boxes and packing materials led directly to MA door, which as propped open it a brick. MA heart began to race. Had I been robbed? As someone squatting in MA apartment. I abandoned MA switches in the hallway and rushed forward, pushing the door open either. The scene inside stopped me cold. MA apartment, MA carefully decorated, personally curated home, as unrecognizable. The terracotta walls of MA living room ere no sterile heat. MA comfortable onion sofa had been replaced it as like gray sectional it never seen before. The vintage rug it found at an estate sale as gone, replaced by a some trendy geometric print in colors that hurt MAs. But most shocking ere the people. 3 burly men in moving company uniforms ere carrying a glass dining tablet rogue MA living room, directed by a woman it her back to me. A oman it familiar honey blonde hair jut in an anglet bob. Tara. A croaked MA voice barely audible over the scraping of furniture. MA sister turned her face lighting up. Amanda. You're back. She bonded over and hugged me as if this were a completely normal situation. Surprise. What do you think? Isn't it amazing? I couldn't speak. MA started around the space, trying to make sense of what I was saying. All MA furniture is gone. MA box are no longer on the shelves. MA art had been replaced by a generous canvas prints it inspirational quotes. Even the curtains are different, sheer hit things that offered no privacy instead of MA cozy thermal drapes. What happened to MA things? I finally managed MA voice small and distant to MA on ears. Oh, I packed most of it up, Tara sighed casually, having toward a stack of boxes in the corner. Mom and Dad helped. Some stuff I donated since I figured you wouldn't need it anymore. The coach as kind of steined and that old rug had seen better days. Donated? The ord felt like a slap. You gave I MA furniture. Just the stuff that isn't worth keeping, says rugged. Killer and needed to make the space work for us. Speaking of, she turned and called over her shoulder. Killer. Amanda's home. A tall man with a carefully trimmed beard emerged from the hallway that led to MA bedroom. Hey, Amanda. Nice to finally meet you. Taras told me so much about you. He extended his hand as if this were a normal introduction at a dinner party. I ignored his hand. Hey, are you in MA apartment? What's going on? Taras' smile faltered slightly. Mom didn't tell you. Kille and I are moving in. His lease ended and I've been looking for a place, but you know how crazy the Boston market is right now. Mom suggested I use your place since you're never home anyway, always working or at the game it's too big for just one person. The moving men continued working around us, bringing in more furniture I didn't recognize. One of them asked Tara to put a standing lamp and she directed him to a corner of the living room, reading corner her grandmother's armchair used to be. Here is bed. I asked Anne away of panic asking over me as I realized the implications of kill coming from bedroom. I put it in storage, Tara sighed. I broke our California King. It's amazing, memory foam and calling gel. You sold Terrae it summit me. Oh, and I reusing your bedroom, obviously. I set up the living room so it's an double as your bedroom. This couch pulls out into a queen bed. Opposite past her and Kille, running down the hallway to MA bedroom. The sage green als no a likt grei. The oden dresser MA grandfather had referenced as gone, replaced by a glossy hit Ikea monstrosity. MA bed its handmade guild as no here to be seen. Instead, an enormous bed a tufted headboard dominated the space. I spun around looking for MA writing desk. Grandma Rose's desk. It isn't there. Here is MA desk. I demanded, returning to the living room here Tara as instructing the movers about here to hang a large television. The antique desk that as in MA bedroom. Here is it. Tara looked momentarily confused. Then her expression cleared. Oh, that old thing. Mom took inside it as technically a family heirloom, so it's hold stayed family. Oh, am family, shouted MA compulsory finally breaking. That desk as given to me by a grandma Rose. It's mine. The movers paused their work, exchanging uncomfortable glances. Kille cleared his throat and muttered something about checking on the kitchen deliveries. Gaze turned on Tara's side, looking embarrassed. It's just a desk. Mom talked it old lockness in her sing room. You can visit it anytime. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I looked around again, noticing more details of the invasion. My kitchen no held appliances I didn't recognize. A high-end espresso machine, a professional stand maker, a juicer still in its box. The refrigerator door as covered it photos of Tara and Kille in my apartment. Her my calendar and shopping list sold have been. Who authorized this? I asked, my voice shaking it anger and disbelief. How did you even get in? Mom has your spare key, remember? For emergencies. Tara said this as if it explained everything. And nobody needed to authorize it. Mom and Dad talked it as a great idea. They said you wouldn't mind helping your sister out. Every family, after all. You can't just move into someone else's home without their permission. This is illegal. Tara rolled her eyes. Don't be so dramatic. It's not like every stranger's breaking in. Every family. Mom said you'd be thrilled to have a company finale. She worries about you being alone all the time. I stood in the middle of what I said to be my living room, surrounded by strangers moving furniture into an apartment I no longer recognized, and felt something break inside me. This isn't just about furniture or paint colors. This is about my autonomy, my boundaries, my very identity being erased without a second thought. Get out, I whispered. What? Tara looked genuinely confused. Get out. I screamed. All of you, get out of my apartment now. The movers froze, looking to Tara for direction. She looked nervously. She's just jet-lagged. Guys, keep working. Amanda, let's talk about this reasonably. Maybe you should sit down. I pulled out my phone. Either everyone leaves right now or I'm calling the police to report trespassers in my home. Tara's face paled. You wouldn't. My finger hovered over the emergency call button. Try me. Tara stared at me, her expression morphing from confusion to indignation. What is wrong with you? I'd doing you a favor. This place looks a thousand times better now, and you'll have a company instead of coming home to an empty apartment every night. A favor? I repeated, my voice dangerously quiet. You're breaking into my home, repainting my walls, replacing my furniture, and climbing my bedroom a favor. I didn't break in, Tara insisted. Mom said the key you gave her. And I didn't just barge in. This has been planned for eggs. Mom's been asking you about measurements and stuff. You responded to her texts. The moving men are shifting uncomfortably, clearly unsure her to continue working. Kille had reappeared in the doorway, keeping a safe distance from the confrontation. I talked she as redecorating her house, I shouted. Not orchestrating a takeover of mine. It's not a takeover, Kille interjected, attempting apologetic tone that only further infuriated me. Every planning to contribute to utilities and groceries. It's a onion, really. I turned my glare on him. I don't resent asking for roommates, let alone offering my bedroom to complete strangers. I'm hardly a stranger, he replied, looking offended. I've been dating Tara for 8 months. I've been at the same family dinners. 3 family dinners, I corrected. And you spent the entire time talking about your fantasy football league. A couldn't pick your voice out of a lineup, let alone and to sare home it yo. Pone buzzed in hand, attacked from motor. Eire heading over. Zant ait to say your reaction to the surprise. Bringing champagne. Perfect, umuttered. The masterminds are arriving. Tara peket at pone. God. Mom and dad can explain everything. You're being completely unreasonable right now. I'm being unreasonable. Looked incredulously. You stole home. Borrowed, Tara corrected. It's just temporary until I find our own place. And how long will that take? Demanded. Tara and Kille exchanged glances. The market is pretty ticked right now, Kille sighed hesitantly. But probably just 6 months, a year mach. A year? The room seemed to spin around me. You expect me to sleep on a pull-out couch in my own living room for a year. It's a really comfortable pull-out, Tara offered equally. Memory foam mattress, top of the line. Before I could respond, there as a commotion in the hallway and my parents burst through the door, my father carrying a bottle of champagne, my mother holding a small gift bag. Surprise, they called out in unison, then faltered as they talk in the scene, me standing it my pone still poised to call emergency services, Tara it tears yelling in her ears, Kille backed against the wall, and 3 very uncomfortable movers frozen in various positions around the room. What's going on? My mother asked, her smile fading. Amanda, you're home early. I wanted to have everything perfect before you arrived. Perfect? Repeated. You thought is perfect. You gave my furniture, painted over my walls, and moved another couple into my bedroom without my permission. My father said don't the champagne bottle it at home. No, Amanda, don't be dramatic. I will improve the place. Those old walls are much too dark, and that furniture as second-hand at best. It as my second-hand furniture in my apartment that bought it my money, shot back. My mother stepped forward, reaching for my arm. Stepped back. Honey, I thought you'd be happy. Tara and Kille needed applause, and you have all this space. You realize saying you're too busy it or to enjoy it properly. So your solution is to give it without asking me. I've not giving it my father said firmly. It's still your apartment. You're just sharing it for a while. Sharing implies consent, pointed out. I never agreed to this. I didn't think you'd mind, my mother insisted. You've always been so generous. Remember when you let Tara borrow your prom dress? Or when you gave her your car when hers as in the shop for 3 months? A dress and occasional car use are not the same as my entire home or as shouting no beyond caring about the spectacle I are creating. And even those things she asked first. Tara stepped forward, her face tears streaked but her eyes hard. You're making such a big deal out of this. It's just stuff, Amanda. Material things. Family is what matters. If family mattered, you would have respected my boundaries and my property, countered. What boundaries? My father scoffed. You've never set any boundaries. You've always been the reliable one I could count on to help it out making a fuss. And there it as the crux of the matter. In the race, registered to accommodate, to make things easier for everyone else it out compliant. My needs, my wants, my very personhood as secondary to my usefulness. I'm setting boundaries now, aside, my voice steadier than expected. Everyone needs to live. No. Movers, please stop bringing things in. In fact, start taking them back out. Amanda, be reasonable, MA motor pleaded. Tara and Killer have already given up their apartment. They have nowhere else to go. That's not MA problem, replied. They just stay it you and dad. You have that big 4-bedroom house, it just the two of you. MA parents exchanged quick glances. That oldn't ork, MA father sighed quickly. Your mother is renovating the guest rooms. It MA furniture. O asked pointedly. MA mother had the grace to look embarrassed. Just a few pieces that orked it the Nicholas cheme. O took a deep breath, trying to center myself. Here's what's going to happen. Everyone is leaving MA apartment today. Tara, Killer, I'm sorry you don't have a place, but you cannot stay here. Mom, Dad, and Grandma Rose's desk returned immediately, along with any other items you were taken from MA home. You can't just throw your sister out on the street, MA father exclaimed, his face reddening. Ach me, replied evenly. This is MA property. O on it. O pay the mortgage. O make the rules. After all I've done for you, MA mother sighed, her voice trembling. This is how you repay us. By turning your back on family when they need you. It as a familiar guilt trip on it had orked countless times before. But standing in the ruins of MA sanctuary, surrounded by evidence of how little they respected me, the earth sponged off harmlessly. Had exactly have you done for me lately? O asked quietly. Did you help me through physical therapy school? Did you contribute to MA down payment? Have you ever even once put MA needs above Tara's? The silence as deafening. That's had a talked, a continued. I love you all, but this stops now. I'm going to eat in the hallway. Hen come back in on 5 minutes, I expect to see the movers packing up, not unpacking. If not, MA nicht shall ill be to a liar. O alked out, closing the door behind me. MA legs carried me to the stairwell here sank down onto the top step, sucking it adrenaline and emotion. For the first time in MA life, I had directly opposite MA family drawn a line the golden cross. It felt terrifying and exhilarating all at once. 15 minutes later, I returned to find the movers indeed packing items back onto their truck, directed by a astonished Killer. Tara sat on the couch, sobbing dramatically while MA mother patted her hand. MA father stood by the window, his back rigid with anger. Thank you for respecting MA decision, aside to the room at large. MA father turned his expression thunderous. This isn't over, Amanda. You're making a huge mistake. Tara and Killer had plans for this place. Good plans. I'm sure they did, replied. But they should have made those plans for their own place, not mine. Every family, MA mother sighed, her voice breaking. Every supposed to help each other. Help? Yes. Steamroll. No, I stood firm, watching as the movers continued their work in reverse. I'll be staying it a friend tonight. I expect everything to be out by tomorrow and MA original furniture returned. That might be difficult, MA father muttered. Some of it's been donated. I felt a fresh wave of anger. Then you'd better start visiting donation centers, because I want it back. All of it, especially Grandma Rose's desk. As I turned to leave, to call the friend who would surely take me in for the night, Tara's voice stopped me. You were changed, she accused. You said to be nice. Hai made you selfish. Located back at MA sister, saying for the first time not the golden child or the perpetual victim, but simply a woman who had never faced real consequences for her actions. I haven't changed, I told her quietly. I just finally realized MA ort. Maybe it's time you discovered yours instead of taking mine. It thought alked out, leaving MA family to deal it the mess they'd created, both literally and figuratively.